Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is November 7th. Welcome to my channel. Now, yesterday, markets were down. Markets were down. And it was really just tech and consumer discretionary that was really weak. And that is what moves our markets. Okay, I always talk about the market cap weighted index, right? And that's what our S&P 500 is. So if the market cap weight of the XLK is 36% of our market, pretty much the market is it not going to go up. It's going to go down most likely, right? But yesterday, the overall breadth of the market was not super weak. It was not. We actually improved the overall breadth yesterday, believe it or not. And that just shows you how much the market cap weight it needs to be paid attention to. Okay, that's why I use the internals, right? Because they always show me what the market cap weight is doing. Okay, from the open. That's the important part. All right, we're going to do a lot of things today, get into a lot of things, a lot of levels to talk about, a lot of things to talk about. Okay. Yesterday, I had a nice long trade, well overdue. And actually, now that I'm assessing, like, I'm not getting my pullbacks in this environment. Okay, since the little bit of the weakness, I'm not getting my pullbacks. Now I have to say to myself, okay, so I'm not getting them. I have to adjust and adapt my style in this environment. So I have to go more off of probability and order flow. Not that I don't before, but I'm not getting my perfect book map patterns that I like to see. I'm still reading it correctly and just not getting those pullbacks. So yesterday I was like, you know what? I gotta start. I'm, there was a short that I put up in my Discord that I was looking at. It came perfect. I was live on my stream with one of the members in the community, and I was saying, and I put to you guys in Discord that, hey, this is the short I'm looking for, and it was around 67.59s, and it came back. I kept saying on my live stream, we're going to get a pop. It's a matter of when. Okay. A couple things happened yesterday. Ticks were very weak. Again, just like on Wednesday. No, not Wednesday. Tuesday. When the NASDAQ exchange ticks were holding under zero. That is very bearish. Very bearish. And I kept saying that in my live stream. I was like, so every pop's going to get sold into when the ticks are like that. Right? Because there's these outliers, right, that don't happen a lot. This doesn't happen a lot where ticks just stay painting red. Okay, give you an example. Okay, let's look at ticks real quick. All right, this is a little choppier, right? But if we go back, I want to show you earlier in the day and what the ticks are doing. Look at the red. You see all of that red from the beginning? Look at that. Look at that. So this is the open. Look at the red. That's all that matters. Under zero, under zero, under zero, under zero, under zero. And I kept saying in my room, this is very bearish. Every pop's going to get sold. Okay? That's how this works. Don't look at ticks like they're, the holy grail. They're not. But when you get ticks that hold like that, it's very bearish. And I kept saying it. This is very bearish. Right? And what did the price action tell us? Right? Price action told us drop, 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 right? What did the price action tell us, right? Now, there's a lot of things to get into. So I'm going to just go back. Let's start it up. Then I had a long. That was nice. Hit my target very quickly. So let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, cam exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. Also use anchor VWAPs, anchored to a specific part in time, to show me who's in control, sellers or buyers. Okay. Also use my market internals. Once the market opens up, from the open, that's the key, from the open, what is strong, what is weak, what's driving our markets today. I don't care about yesterday's close. That's what the important part is. I don't care. Okay, I want to know what's strong off today's open. Now, Bookmap helps me execute with order flow. Okay, along with footprint. Two different ways to look at it. Okay, and my weekly expected move. I cannot stress enough the weekly expected move indicator. That's free on my Discord. I have a Python script. I run it every Monday morning, and it generates the expected move for the week. Let me say again, 70% of the time, all the tickers in my script will close within the expected range. When we go outside of it, it's an outlier. Okay, remember what I just said. I don't want to hear somebody say, oh, but it broke the what I'm saying is there's a 70% probability it closes within the expected move. I don't know if Documents is watching now. I know he uses the script and he sees it every time and goes, whoa, that is crazy. Yeah, because that's what the options market does. It prices the moves in. Okay? It's pretty insane. It's for free on my Discord. Okay? And we'll get into that, why that was important yesterday. All right, now, I do this every morning. So please come join me. Give you the market story. Give you the market news, the leaders and the laggards, why the market's doing what it's doing. Okay? Bunch of technical analysis. Have a morning cup of coffee. Have your tea. Put me on in the car. I'm giving out gems here. All right? I'm not too advanced in the beginning. We just talk about the market. Right? Down the road, it does get a little advanced with my technical analysis. All right? So just join. Sign up. A free newsletter every morning, right? But I feel like I hit the important parts. Not a furu. I'm not trying to sell you a service. I'm just giving you the raw facts of why our market's doing what it's doing and the probabilities. Okay? No one predicts markets. Nobody. You can have a probability. Predicting is a fool's errand. Okay? I will never tell you, I know this stock is going to, no, I mean, it should, it might, right? That's being honest. Am I right? A lot of my analysis, yes, but it's not predicting. It's probabilities. Okay? Now, if you want to hear more of this stuff, you're going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Okay? Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link and sign up. What are you waiting for? All right? Let me be your indicator. I mean, that's what I'm selling you, but I'm not selling anything. I'm selling you the idea of my Discord, right? So live market updates. I'm guiding you. Okay? Talking about the internals, what we should do, what the levels are key here, right? I gave you my first futures trade here in almost 2 weeks, a week and a half. Okay? I didn't get a pullback like I normally. We're not getting those pullbacks. Just not getting them. So I have to adjust. There's 2-to-1 return on that. I would have had a 3-to-1, but I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure my target was accurate. I wanted to move it to the VPOC, but it doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. And you get my weekly expected move indicator on Thinkorswim. Okay, just put this on your chart and you will see week after week, it's uncanny. When it hits these expected moves, it's like a ghost is there, and it's like boom, it hits it, and it's like whoa, and it's random. It's not like at a support or resistance level all the time. It's really crazy. Okay, and what I'm noticing about this indicator, okay, is when you get a lot of stocks, index, and big stocks hitting their expected move to the upside, which happened, I believe, last week. The QQQ hit its expected move to the upside. Nvidia hit expected. A bunch of big stocks. Also, it's a short. I've seen this now probably 3 times now. It just means that these stocks are overdone. The options market did not price these in, and they start to pull back. Okay? Now the reverse has happened this week. Okay? The reverse. So, real quick, this is the expected move. We're going to get into it. Okay? Give me a sec here while I adjust my charts. And we'll just show you. Okay, I'll just show you a couple of tickers. Okay? And the important ones. Let's do it. All right, let's go right into here. Now, my script puts this red line on the chart right here. This is the QQQ. And on this particular chart, I only have the range, right? It shows me 611.101, right? And that's what's here. That's what the script does, okay? Look at that expected move yesterday at 611. There's not even a gamma level there. 611, look. Tried to get lower, 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 and then at the end of the day, bounced right off it. That's the expected move to the downside. Now, if I was to say today, we're below it right now at 609. What this means is we could close above it at the end of the day. Doesn't mean we can't go below it like we have. Doesn't mean we can't close it out outside of it. What it does mean is there is limited downside left today. Okay? There is limited downside. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia has broke its expected move to the downside. Right here. Okay? Now don't get me wrong. It's at 185 right now. I would not be surprised if it rips back above this 189.18. And again, I'm not saying we can't close outside of it. I'm just saying the downside should not have a ton of more room. It can. There's outliers. Okay? But don't you want to be on the 70% of the side, right? Look at Microsoft. Expected move to the downside. Look at it. Went under it, held, ripped back over it, ripped back under it. Okay? Now, Coinbase isn't a large cap. It's not it doesn't move markets, right? But Coinbase also. Now, this is where you have outliers that can run. When it really pushes, now this is really pushing, that is probably a short. When it really rips and you're crushing it, that means the options market didn't price it in, and this thing can start to tank, which it's doing. Okay? Now, back to SPY. SPY's expected to move to the downside at 667. Do you know where we're at now? Let's go to the overnight activity here. Good, check that out. There's the expected move. Do you see it? 667. Where's the market now? It tried to go below it, and it's right here. 667. Okay? Let's just look at the Dow for giggles here. Expected move, it's below it. It's below it. It's $1 below it, 469. Let's just check the Russell. Way below it. Well, $2. But yesterday, look. Yesterday, I'm sorry. Let's see yesterday. This is overnight hours. Where's the close from yesterday? So we closed right at the expected move. Now, like I said, It doesn't mean we can't go below it. It really matters, do we close by it or near it? A lot of times you see a rip today because we've fallen pretty good. Okay? We've fallen pretty good. All right, let's go to SPY. All right. Okay. Just wanted to show you guys that. One other thing is why I took my long yesterday is gamma levels. And like I'm hitting you with a lot of stuff here. Okay. But this means this SPX gamma level, this 6715. I kept mentioning this in my stream yesterday. The gamma foot point for the month on SPX. I said this is a huge level, and you go below this, that's negative gamma, and negative gamma is super volatile. Super volatile. I don't know what the gamma foot that might have changed, but for yesterday, that was the gamma foot point. That's where I got long. Where did I get long here? Yeah, right around here. That's where I got long yesterday. I'm like, it's holding 65.15. All that came into play in my long, and I got that long, right? And then we dumped. Remember, I also said in my Discord, this market's weak. We could roll over. We could roll back over, but I think the low might be in. Look what happened. Boom, went right there. The low was already there, put in earlier. Okay. Now, I'm contemplating of going into too much news. Okay. Bypassing it, and I might do a little book map and footprint little lesson here. And I'm trying to think, should I do it separately or do it at the end of my stream as a bonus? And then I can always export that later on its own as well. Trying to think. I don't know who's listening right now, how many people are there right now that would be interested in that. I think a lot of people probably would be. So I probably will record when I'm starting to do that. If we get through everything, and if I have time, I'll do it, and maybe we can open it up to even some questions. But that depends how many people are watching. I don't even know who's watching right now. Okay, we're gonna get into a watch list. I know people that would be interested in it, but I just don't know who's watching right now. All right. So, like I said, I think it's very educational. Let's get into the watch list here. Let's see what's moving markets. Now, we're gapping down. Okay, we are gapping down. The VIX, get ready for a wild day. The VIX is up 5.59%. We're over a 20 VIX. We're going to have nice moves today. Relative volume is screaming today. 260%. 261% relative volume. Volume is screaming. Relative volume is really hot right now. Okay? What's up, Cole? So, yeah, we're going to have a very, very nice day with tempo volatility, okay? Silver, the metals are getting love today, up 1.08%. Crude getting a little love, up 0.87. Gold up 0.36. 10-year yield up 0.12. 30-year bonds are flat. Dollar is down 0.17. Dow's down 0.27. ES down 0.42. Right? ES down 0.42. Nasdaq's down 0.64. Russell down 0.68. Bitcoin starting with that 100K again. Bitcoin starting with that 100K again. If that rips through the 100K and starts falling, wow, that'd be interesting. Okay, Ethereum's pushing 2%, down 2%. Okay. Now, like I said, I know Cole's here. Again, I could share my Thinkorswim workspace as well. If you kind of want to match my how I use volume profiles in my NinjaTrader, I could share that if anybody's interested. I might show you that in my I'll show you that in a little second, how I look at the volume profiles. I don't use it in Thinkorswim because I don't need to. But how I use them in Ninja has tick data. It's a little more accurate, but you still get the same picture in the Thinkorswim. So if anybody's interested, I can share that workspace. I can show you that workspace for a sec and show you that it's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, let's move on. Mag 7 Plus. Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is definitely a safe haven this week. Okay. Netflix has that split coming. Netflix has that split coming. And it's kind of holding it up a little bit. All right. Because I'm going to tell you, that split comes, that stock's going to be worth like 101 bucks. 101 bucks. Everybody could be able to buy it and afford it. Okay. You buy 10 shares today, you'll have 100 shares when it splits. Okay. That's why it's not down that much. Let's go to the 1%ers. Broadcom, semi, down 1.28. Nvidia, semi, down 1.47. Coinbase, a Bitcoin proxy, down 1.73. And AMD is a semi, down 2.45%. Okay? AI right now is getting destroyed. And on top of it, Trump is saying that all the latest chips are not going to be exported to China. He will not allow them to have the latest and greatest. Okay? Now, moving on. Top sectors. Let's check it out. You got the miner up here with the gold. You got the PepsiCo, the staple, pushing up. And that makes sense. That's defensive. McDonald's is a discretionary stock, but people look at it like a staple. Food. Walmart, a staple, right? Costco, I'm still eyeing Costco. I still think that's a nice play. Right? That makes sense. Now, who's down? Uber, Caterpillar, United Healthcare. United Healthcare is just can't get out of its own way. Palantir still, down to 172. They were at like 210 not too long ago. Very overvalued. Not a bad company, but it was overvalued. Oracle getting destroyed, down 1.56. Okay, down to 243. I think that's coming up to the gap fill soon in Oracle. All right. Now, let's look at granular. Wow, man, this is killing me. Transmedic, I own that thing. Wait, this is not Transmedic, is it? No, I think this is Tandem Diabetes. I'm sorry, this is not Transmedic. I think this is Tandem Diabetes. Well, they must have did something good because they're up 15%. Expedia is up 12.52%. Affirm up 5.46. Monster Energy Drink up for 5.34. So there is people. These stocks are moving. Airbnb reported earnings. They are good. Let's look at laggards, folks. There's a bunch of them. There's your block. Okay, is down 15%. Oof. DraftKings down 7.36. Oklo, the nuclear play that has no revenue, is finally getting treated with something that has no revenue. That's a nuclear play. Okay, Take Two down almost 5%. D-Wave down 4.54. It's quantum computing. IonQ, quantum computing down 4%. SoundHound, that's related to Nvidia. MicroStrategies, wow. Glad I took that long off. Wow. 227. Woo. Iris Energy reported earnings. They're down 3.32%. So all these high flyers, right, are just getting smoked. They're getting the air taken out of them, which is interesting, right? Which is interesting because the overall breadth was not that weak yesterday. Now, Staples is up 0.37%. Don't you see something? Something's happening, right? There's some rotation happening out of tech, and where's the money going right now? Into Staples. I did add XLP to my portfolio because it hit a key support level. That's why I like the Costco play as well. Okay? Now, energy's up. That don't move markets. Staples does not move markets. That's why they can go crazy and the market won't even know. Okay? Now, who's down? We got utilities down 0.27. XLK, that's 36% of the market cap weight in the S&P 500, that's down 0.76, and your semis are down 1.17%. That's risk off, folks. Risk off. Semis are down 1.16%. Now, could that change? Yes. A lot of times when the semis are like that, they become the leader. Does that happen today? I don't know. Does that happen today? I don't know. Okay? And we got a lot to talk about today. That's why I might do a light news thing. Real light to get through what I want to talk about. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the economic calendar. Like I said, I think I'm going to be quick with this. All right. If I want to get in that book map and footprint chart, little tutorial there. All right, let's check it out. Today, all we got is Fed speak. Okay, government is still shut down. No unemployment, no non-farm payroll. We do have Michigan consumer sentiment. That does move markets, folks. At 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. So if I don't have a trade at 9:45 at all, I'm waiting because this moves markets. Stay away. Now, as far as Trump, let's go to the juice. Trump greets with Hungary's prime minister at 11:30. At 11:30. That's that. Okay. Now I'm just going to go briefly over this. Elon Musk got approved for the 1 trillion. Okay. So Tesla was up earlier. It's not anymore. All right. Intel stock rose 0.9 after Tesla CEO Musk said the electric vehicle maker could enter a deal with the chipmaker for artificial intelligence. Okay. And this is NVIDIA about the China. He's not giving China any of the powerful artificial intelligence. I told you this. We already talked about all this stuff. I don't want to get into that. I'm only going to get into, let's see. I've already talked about this stuff. Yeah. We're going to skip all that. Already talked about it. Okay. This is interesting. All right. And it doesn't really matter right now. Upgrades. AMD upgrade. Price target 265. ASML, a semi, another upgrade. Datadog, upgrade. Expedia. Oh, let's get out of that. A lot of upgrades today. Expedia, upgrade. What else here? Penn Entertainment, upgrade. And Unity Software and Trade Desk. Interesting. Doesn't really matter right now today because the market's going down, right? Downgrades, don't care. All right, moving on. Let's move on. We're going to move on right to, I kind of talked about market internals. I don't think I need to go into that. Market was just super weak. That's the bottom line. All right, market was super weak. We don't need to go into that. Let's go to the daily charts. And you'll see something interesting here in a second here. So, let's take this off. Let's go to dailies. I don't know if Cole's still with me here. I'm not sure if Documents is in here yet. Rosita's like MIA, I think. Let's see here. I don't know if Praise Matthews is here. Not sure if I saw that guy in Discord yesterday or not. Let's look at the daily chart. Okay? What do we do? Well, we broke the 20-day simple moving average. This red line is my expected move to the downside. That's the expected move. Where are we at, folks, right now? We're right here. That's where the market is right now. Happens to be also a prior monthly high in October. That's the October highs. Is that right? Is this October? I don't know why that's showing. Oh, no, yeah, not October. I'm sorry. This is September's highs. So it's like it's got a key level there too. It's not. I guess it just happened to be 667 is September's highs. Okay. Where are we at now? 667. I just said that right here, right above the weekly expected move. The 50-day moving average is 664. Call it 665. If we hit that, I believe we'll bounce today and maybe close above this at the end of the day. I don't know. Remember, I don't predict. Okay, so the market's right here. Let's look at futures. Give us a nice view in futures. There it is. Look at that futures. Boom, 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 right? Guess where it's at though? The 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average. Okay? It's right on it. Now, if we take it out, like I said, I'd be very cautious because that can get ripped right back up. Ripped right back up. Okay, but in futures, we're hitting the 50-day moving average. All right, let's look at the Qs. Let's look at the Qs. Now, one thing I want to note too, look to your left. This is all the Trump with the rare earths exports big drop here, and we had a big volume here. We have a lot of trading here. Keep that in mind. We're in the middle of all this trading activity. Okay. Now, Qs. Here's our Qs. We finally broke that uptrend. Closed below it. But look where we closed. I already talked about it at the weekly expected move. It didn't break it. Where are we now? 607.64. 607.50. 607.50. So we are right here. Right here. Look to the left though. Look to the left. All of this trading. Okay. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's look at the NASDAQ futures. Look to the left. I want you to make sure you look to the left. We're going to look right here. That's not what I wanted to do. See that? That's important. That's important. Okay? Very important. We're not at the 50-day moving average yet in the NASDAQ. Not there yet. Not there yet. Okay? Definitely nice sell-off, and you got rid of all that poor structure. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. Okay? That's your NASDAQ. Okay? Now, whoever's interested, I'll just show you real quick. My chart in the Thinkorswim that I can share. And we'll show you. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. There we go. This is, let's get into the futures. So this is my futures setup for Thinkorswim, which I browse it every now and then. Okay. I'm just going to show you very, very briefly, and we'll start. All I have here is monthly, so we can just really quickly. I'm going to show you this just because it's going to show you the same stuff as NinjaTrader. So this is the monthly. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months up. 7 months up. Okay, keep that in mind. 7 months up. There's our weeklies. All right, so our weeklies, I have a 5 years back. You can see the most traded of the last 5 years is all the way down here, 41.77. This is the ES. Okay. Go one more back. This is a daily chart. Notice, where is this? You see this? This is a 90-day profile. We're right here, right now. This is the market right now. See, it's at the 50-day moving average, and you're at the most traded price of the last 3 months. The most traded price of the last 3 months, around 6,700. That's where you are right now in futures. Get a little closer, right? Right here. And then lastly, this is a like a monthly chart. So this is 1 month. Each gray profile is a week. Each profile has a most traded price, and then you have the most traded price of the month. So if you get this big pink line, that's the most traded price of the month, which is 66766. 67.76, and NinjaTrader will show me the same thing. Okay, and in this workspace, the green line is the week to date VWAP. The pink line is the month to date VWAP. So it has the month to date and week to date VWAPs. Okay, and check that out. They're together because the month and the week started the same. So we're underneath the month to date, week to date VWAP. The white line is the 5-day moving average, which is Brian Shannon. Okay, he's famous for the 5-day moving average. So look at that though. We're right. Yesterday we closed. Where did we close? Right here or right here. All right. So that's the futures workspace. Let me know if anybody wants that. I can share it. Then you guys can look on Thinkorswim with me on NinjaTrader and be like, oh yeah, I see exactly what he's saying, right? Because if you don't have NinjaTrader, moving on. Moving on to the hourly charts. A lot of important stuff here. A lot of important stuff here. We're going to get into it. Okay, we're going to get into it. Let's do hourly charts here. Hourly charts. Lot to talk about. Okay. All right, let's look at them together. This is going to be a pain in the butt. Hold on a second. We are at a crucial level. Very, very crucial level. I'm going to show it to you, okay? Let's illustrate it at a higher time frame. Let's go to like 6 hours. 6 hours would be good. Just to illustrate what I want to talk about, okay? Let's give it a sec. Loads. All right. This will give us a nice look. All right, it's 6 hours. Okay. Now, check this out. I want to talk about a couple things. I always talk about structure, right? Look from this date how we went up. Gap up, up. That is poor structure. That is not a market that went like this. Move up, move up. That went like this. Whoop, right? So guess what the market did? Oh, poor structure? Okay, boom. Cleared it right up. Now, but it's at a key spot now. Okay, remember this is 6 hours. So you had a little void in volume here, a little bit, right? This is the most traded price of the month. The 67, I think it's like 75s or something, 67, 75s. Okay, we are below that. But this is the important part. This is the trading, specifically here, the export to China curbs of the rare earths when Trump said that. And then he's like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. Okay? That is where we are starting to get to. And I have a thing here, key support level. Around the 6720s, right here, is a very key support level. And you have that volume with this like triple-headed high volume nodes here that I have highlighted with these boxes. And I have key support right here. I don't think, okay, usually when you come up to these high volume nodes like this, stacked up like this, it's very hard to pierce it. It's very hard to just go like that. It doesn't work like that. This structure here was poor. That did not have good foundation. That's why we cleaned it up. Well, guess what? Does that look like that? No. It's this. It's a lot of volume. Okay? To give you another visual, let's do a more of a visual, right? Let's go right from this point in time before the drop and give the volume profile. Look at all this volume. 1, 2, 3 high volume nodes. You see all of that volume? This is what this market's coming down and touching. Remember, the market moves in base trend, base trend, base trend. Okay? Base trend, base trend, base trend. That's how the market moves. You have the 3 high volume nodes here represented here. I just want to preface this area. Okay? From 67.20 to about 66.60. This is how you look at this. Okay? I already know we're past the expected move. I already know that. I already know there's a low probability that we go much lower. Okay? And now I know we have this. We have this. Okay? And let's get the volume profile off. Because you have, this is 6-hour chart. Look at that support here. Look at the support here that we just swept. Now we're getting some buying, right? What I want to say is this, okay? Pay attention here. I want to know what we do if we go even into this. It's not going to be great trading. Now, this is the difference. If this market goes like this and does that, that is very bearish. Okay? Because the market should not do that. This means panic. This cuts through this. Woof. Look at this void in volume. You can go straight down all the way to 65.20s. This would be panic in the streets. You cut through that like a hot knife through butter, folks, we're going down. However, probability, we're already past the expected move to the downside. Hit the 50-day moving average in futures, right? The probability is we probably maybe play with it and then maybe get a little bounce. And then maybe next week we see what we do with it. Okay? That's how I'm looking at it. Hoping this is making sense. Okay? That's how I look at markets. Go back to the hourly chart. All right. So pay attention to what I just said. Look at this structure on the way down, just to point that out. See this structure? Zoom. That could easily be retraced. All right, easily. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just pointing out the levels that I'm going to gauge on structure. We have a similar thing here in the NASDAQ. Let's go to a 6-hour chart again. NASDAQ has a lot of tick data. That's why sometimes it takes a while. Like if you know tick data on a platform, NASDAQ has so many ticks. Okay, check it out, folks. This is your NASDAQ. Okay, look at the poor structure. Whoop, gone, gone. Okay, gone. Now, this is your most traded price, the 249s of the month. That is so key. Okay, why is that key? Because this is the most traded price. It hasn't changed even with this move. Because you know why? This was so meteoric. It didn't have time. It didn't spend enough volume. It's coming back to value. Okay? Another thing I have to say. Look at this volume. Notice it. We broke the 253s, which I said yesterday would be important. We're under it, right? But now you have all of this high volume nodes because of all of this price action. You don't have poor structure here. Okay? You don't have it. You have congestion. If I'm short, I didn't say this before, from here, and you're like, woohoo, killing it. Oh, wait a minute. It's probably an error. I probably want to take some profits. Doesn't mean we can't do this next week. I'm not saying that. Okay. We just came a long way, right? Look at that. Woo. Okay. If I'm short, what am I going to do? Hold on? Take some off, probably. Look, we're getting a little wick here. We got a big demand zone here. This is about a 12-hour demand zone. And this is 6 hours. So look at that strong right there. Okay. Remember, we're in congestion. We're in this congestion. Let me throw on the volume profile just to give you some more clarity here. Okay. I think it gives a good visual. Let's see from this drop what we're looking at here volume wise. Boom. There we go. Look, there's your 253. Look at that high volume node. Right? And then look. Boom. There's your 249s. That's why I have these on my charts. Okay. High volume node. We're getting into a lot of volume here. So a lot of volume here, right? A lot of volume here. This should not be cut through. Okay. Maybe we test the 249s, but I think that's going to be it. Again, can we do this? I don't think so. But if it does, that's market generated information that this, folks, is a sell-off. Okay, and then I'm going to sit here and wait to see, does it stick and we go like this? Or do we do this? Because it can get ugly. Look, we have a little pocket of volume here. All right. Hoping I'm hammering it at home. And I don't know who is watching, but hopefully you're appreciating the analysis. Now, let me get rid of that market profile. Hold on. Volume profile. Let's go back to the hourly. All right. Now, that's your 1 hours. That's your 1 hour charts, okay? Let's go to the main event here. That's this gap down. This gap down. Now, it recovered a little bit. Remember, we closed near the lows yesterday. Near the lows. So let's look at the market profile, volume profile. And remind me, if anybody's even watching, I'm going to start recording because I'm going to do a little footprint and book map, little lesson. All right, let's look at the ES. Okay. And let's map it out. This is your market profile, volume profile. All right. Now, most traded price of the week is still up here. 66.82. All right. Here's that key support. You can see it here. Remember that triple-headed high volume nodes are all here. That's why I said I have them on my charts to let me know that's a wall. And the first touch of that wall should not really pierce it that much. Okay, so we are gapping down. Now, when you're gapping down, let's put a range here. That's the gap fill. Gap fills at 67.33. The 50% retracement of the overnight is 67.42. So we're going to mark that off. Okay, right here is that first high volume node. All right, so we already have them here. So we know I'm not going to have to draw too many boxes here because they're already boxes. Okay, this is everything I need to know. How far do you go into this area? You would tell me how bearish are we? And I'm not going to trust a little dip in there. Not when we're close. Not when we're below the expected moves. Okay, we do have supply right here. Look at this level. Most traded price of the month, 67.73s. Right here lines up with the overnight highs in the midpoint of yesterday, the 50% retracement of yesterday. Okay, now let's just put a big box here. I'm just going to do this just so it's illustrated. It's just so you can see it. And I have key support right here. I know within this area is our wall. That's my gauge. That's my gauge. Okay. Now, we're gapping down. Small gap right now. We came down to here, right to the high volume node, and bounced. Do I know what happens? Nope. Now, here's another thing. In the overnight, we're about 75 to 80% net short, and we're at the lows. Okay? You could get a correction. Remember, we're hitting the 50-day moving average in futures. All right, let's get into scenarios. All right. It will start off with most probably my bias right now is a long. Okay. Why? We hit the expected moves to the downside, many stocks, and the indexes, and we're right there right now in the SPY. I definitely think we're set up for some type of bear trap. Inside here is probably where trap's going to happen. So, if we gap down, right, let's say we do this. Boop, gap and go. And let's say it's quick though. And I notice off the open, the market's not that weak. With the internals. And we do one of these. And you do have a little high volume node here. Let's look at that level. 67.24s. Okay. I want to see the market take that out. You might even fill the gap here. Pull back to it. And this is where the rubber meets the road. And if the internals are not weak, we could rip to the most traded price of yesterday. That's 67.50. 67.50. Okay. This, remember, okay, shorts have been getting paid. Let's say from here, 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 here. Now we're at the lows and we're almost 85% net short. This is setting up for the bear trap. This could be it. However, if you break that, go into the supply, get a pullback to it, you might go right back to the most traded price of the month. And what do we do from here? We probably do this the rest of the day. Okay? Now, another scenario. We could do this. This is part of this, but we could just go like this. Fill the gap. People come in, sell. Then you hold this high volume node and go up. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Okay? Shorts. Shorts. Now, I want to pull back for a short. Okay? First thing you're going to look at. What do? We could do this bounce. Okay, we rip. We fill the gap. You can get a perfect gap fill, right? And then just boom. Now it's the test. That could be a trade in itself because of this big area. Okay? This should not be easy to cut through. But if we start cutting, wow. Now, that's number one. Number two, okay, I don't want to be short in here. I'm not going to be I don't like to be inside here at all. So I want pullbacks. So even if we come back and maybe we hit the most traded price of yesterday, right? And then we come in to this supply in the close of yesterday. This is where I'm going to see, okay, what do? If we go like this, test the close, drop, retest yesterday's most traded price around 67.50, This could also take us down. That's all I'm interested in. Now, we could open and do this. Boop. But I don't want to be doing much in here. This area, for me, is like a big chop zone. Like I said, I'm going to have to let the market prove to me what's going to do in there. I don't want to be involved in there that much. Okay? All right. That's ES. Finish off with NASDAQ. Finish off with NASDAQ. Okay, we got our levels here. We're gapping down a little more than the ES. Okay. 253s, right perfect with our overnight highs and our supply zone. Now, gap fills, 25197s, lines up perfectly with the 50% retracement of the overnights. You're about 80% net short here. Now, you do have a bearish imbalance to this overnight. We were making a lot of volume here and then took a downturn. Okay, you are in demand zones. These are fresh demand zones that have not been tested. Okay, and then you have the 249s. That's our most traded price of the month. There's our 50% retracement of yesterday, 25441s. Okay, so gapping down a little bigger, starting to create some volume here. Let's open it up. You had a nice like inverse head and shoulders here and you couldn't break it. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's do scenarios. All right, let's start with the bull side. Okay, so we're in a big demand zone. So I don't like shorting in demand. Okay, that's number one. Big demand zone, haven't been tested again. You're asking for trouble. Okay, so what am I looking for? Okay, this might have to happen like this. So let's see. If we get a gap and go, and it's like a fierce one, like this, zoom, right to 249s, I'm going to wait to see what we do here. This happens quick, and the market doesn't have enough time to get weak. We're not that weak, and we do this, that's a long. You try to fill that gap at 2519s. Okay, if you fill that gap, you're going to go to 253s. Do I think today we have the strength to break 253s, retest, and go higher? Not sure. I would say we probably stay under 253s today, but anything can happen, obviously. Okay, now the other way would be if we just push up, fill the gap, probably get some selling, and get a little bit of a higher low. That could be the move to the 253s. And I would think we might give a little break to that because that's a poorish high in the overnights. We might do a little like this and then for the rest of the day do that. Okay, that's all I'm interested in there. Shorts. Okay, you do have your gap and go. That's not comfortable for me to trade gap and go, so but it could be reality that we just do this. And it could be reality that we just do this and go, oh my God, and we do this, and then we do this today. I mean, it could even bounce hard off that demand and we do that. It's the most traded price of the month. Okay. A little better would be, okay, let's rip up, fill the gap, and maybe get a lower high, and this market starts to deteriorate, break the overnight lows, and then go to the 249s. Okay. Now, this 253 is a very important area. We can also rip up there, try to go higher, fail, retest. That's your short. I don't know how far we go. We might just go down to here. Not sure. This could rope in a lot of longs, and you could go down here. Okay? That is it, folks. That is the end of scenarios. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Smash the like button if you did. That's much appreciated. Okay? Now, please join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. All right, give you the market story. I try to give you as much as I can to why the market's doing what it's doing and what's the possibilities that the market what's the possibilities, right? Hopefully you understand that I'm giving you that. Okay? Technical analysis, a member of my community was asking me what's not lagging indicators, and I was telling them order flow. That's how the market moves. This is not bashing anything, but like a moving average crossover, right? You only get the crossover once the momentum moves. It's lagging, right? But in order flow, you see the buy orders and the sell orders and how it's moving and who's trapped, because that's how the market moves. Not on it doesn't move on a moving average crossover. That just shows momentum, right? So those are behaviors, just like volume profile. It's behavior. If there's a most traded price, that means that's the most traded price people are agreeing upon. It's a behavior. It's not lagging. It's telling you that's the most traded price. Anchored VWAP. Anchor that a place in time, and for that place in time, be it at a low, would show you the average buyer. And it's not disputable. It's not like, oh, I don't really trust that move. No, it is what it is. Okay? So, now all this stuff, what I'm talking about, you're going to get if you go to join my Discord, Fluence Trading, go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link and sign up. It's free. Okay? You get all this commentary. And I'm more of an indicator than I'm going to give you alerts. Because you're not going to trade like me. I'm not going to trade like you. You use me as an indicator. Okay? With the market internals and all the stuff that I'm trying to tell you. Okay? For a while, I would be overwhelmed by the stuff I look at. But now it's like one big indicator in my brain. Okay? And I give that to you every day. All right? Now, let's get into the lesson that I want to share with you guys. Okay? The book map lesson, the footprint lesson. Okay? Let's do it. So this is going to be a book map, order flow, footprint, and VPOC lesson. All right? So, let's talk about it. All right? Let's talk about it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure I have all my charts up for you. And I know the market's going to open, so I'm going to try to make it not too long. All right? Not too long. So let me just get one of my windows up here. Oh, let me change my workspace for you guys. Hold on. And honestly, the 10 a.m. news, probably not too excited to trade the open. So give me 1 second. We're going to go over yesterday. Okay. So I want to start with this chart, the ES from yesterday. Okay? This sets up everything along with my Discord. Okay, so I'll paint this picture for you from what I was saying. Give me, let's see. Okay. Let's go to my Discord. I just want to set this up, and then you'll understand. Okay? At 12:15, I say ticks, especially the NASDAQ, have been really weak. Here's the ticks. I said they've been really weak, right? At the time, tech was down almost 2%, one down 1.8. You can see very, very weak. Okay. And I said, internals very weak with all heavy-weighted sectors weak. S&P 500 as a whole is not very weak. However, our market does not care about that. Market cap weight is all that matters. Ticks tell the story. All pops are shortable. I'm waiting for the pop to short around 67.59 would be ideal. Around 67.59. Okay? Now, over to this chart. Okay? Now, at the time, let me show you the footprint chart. Okay? Let me show you the footprint chart real quick because I want to make sure you understand this VPOX move. This is that time. VPOC was right here, around 67.61. That's why I said in the 15-minute 9 EMA, I said I want to see this live. I was like, I want to see a pop. We're going to get it. I want to see what we do with the pop because all pops should be shortable. Okay? So, go over to the futures chart. Right? Now, that's when we were right here. I said, I'm waiting for that pop. The pop came, and it came right to that VPOC. Right? And then it sold. And I got long here, but I'm not here to talk about the long. I'm here to talk about this short because it's really interesting. It really shows you. I want to show you why that worked out. And I didn't get a chance. I had a limit order set. That didn't work. Let's go into Bookmap, and I have a replay set. And I want to show you. This is about, what time is this? This is 12:43. I'm going to play it. Let's play it at 6 times speed, 4 times speed right now. Okay? I'm going to play this. And I want to show you something. First, let's pause this real quick. Okay? Real quick, I want to show you a primer right here of what you're going to see here. This is your volume session profile. Okay? That's just total volume. This shows you the volume, what it's composed of. Okay, sellers in red and buyers in green. This delta shows you the difference, the net difference. So if it's red, that means there was more sellers than buyers. If the bar is bigger, that means it's a very big buyer here. Okay, notice it's 528, right? So 1,700 buyers with 1,172 sellers. That's a net delta positive of 526. Okay? Other than this, we're not going to get into it, but these are resting orders. The bigger the bar, the more orders that are resting offers. Below price is resting bids. I just want to make sure you understand that. All right? Now I'm going to play it, and I want to show you what happens here. And I want to show you the amount of buying. This is called absorption. That is coming in here. Look at the green bubbles. The bigger the green bubbles, the bigger the buyers. I want to show you big buyer, right? Big buyer comes in there. Boom. Slams into this liquid. See these offers? Right? More offers. Let's see. Okay, it's trying to go up. Okay, let's see. Big buyers coming in. Let's watch these deltas up here. Let's watch them. I'm going to speed it up a little more. Just want you to see it. Okay. Watch over here the net buyers that come in. Now remember, there's the VPOC right there. It's showing you. VPOC. POC. Okay, that's the POC. Let's watch it. And you tell me what you see here. Remember, green bubbles are aggressive buyers. Red bubbles are aggressive sellers. Might speed it up one more chance here. So there we go. 16 speed. Boom. Buyers coming in. Look at those buyers. Big buyer right here. Boom. Look at the net delta. Right here. See all those buyers? They're sitting right here. What are these buyers doing? I want to make sure you understand this. Look at all these buyers. Green bubble, green bubble, green bubble. Look at the net deltas growing. What's happening? They're not going higher. They're not getting paid. And watch what happens. Boom. Boom. Not yet. The boom's coming. Here we go. Let's see. They try one more time. Let's see. They go right to the VPOC. Ooh, trying. Let's see if we get some more buyers come in. And then it dips and boom. It's off to the races. I had a limit order set around here. It just didn't get filled. And then look. Boom. See you later. Okay. I just wanted to show you that. That's how Bookmap, what it shows you. Okay. Now, I'm going to relay it to the footprint chart and we'll get out of here. And it shows you just in a different way. Okay. Here's the VPOC. That was just what you saw. Okay. Check out the net delta. That's another way to see it. That is aggressive buying. Boom, 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 boom. Right? All in this bar. Look at this bar right up here. And you can see the net delta here. I don't think this does as great a job as Bookmap. So you have all that aggressive buying, and then look what happened when you broke that. And look at that poor structure, and you just went boom, boom, boom. Buyers trapped. All the buyers in net delta were buyers, and they got smoked. Okay? So hopefully that makes a little more sense. I just wanted to show you that because I thought that's when Bookmap and Footprint are really powerful, because it's how the market moves. It's not about a crossover. It's not about anything else with order flow. And that not always you get those things. Sometimes it's noise. Sometimes it's like what do you think now, Bookmap? And it's like, well, sometimes it's just like looking at noise. It's not giving you an edge. That's why I wanted to show you guys this. Okay? Now, hopefully, I know sometimes looking at this stuff is like, what am I watching? Okay? But that's going to be it for me today, folks. So everybody, we got a plan. Let's get to it. You know what I'm looking for. All right? So everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed that little tutorial there. And I can upload this separately now, which I will do. All right, everybody? Have a great day.